All right, welcome. You've been told your whole life that to get wealthy, you have to hustle, grind, and just plain out work everyone else. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the real key to wealth isn't about brute force, but about mastering a hidden law of reality? So let's dive into this and completely reframe how we think about money, not as just paper, but as pure energy. So here's a pretty provocative idea from the source material. It suggests that this constant struggle for money, it isn't some personal failure. It's actually a feature of the system, the endless hustle, that feeling of just never getting ahead. The whole point is to keep you so focused on the grind that you never look up and discover the real mechanics of how wealth is created.
And this leads to a paradox that I bet sounds familiar. You put in more hours, you take on more stress, you're sending frantic emails at midnight, but the doors just seem to get heavier, right? This is what's called the exhaustion trap. The source material points out that every single action you take from a place of fear or exhaustion is actually broadcasting a signal of lack. It's telling the universe, I don't have enough. And guess what? The universe just listens and agrees. Okay, so this really boils down to two completely different ways of operating. On one side, you've got force. This is the default mode we're all taught. It's all about pushing, straining, and hustling from a place of fear. But on the other side, you have frequency. This is about alignment, calm, and coherence. Think about a magnet, right? It doesn't shove metal around, it just aligns its own field and the pull happens effortlessly. That's frequency over force. So to really get a handle on this frequency thing, we have to zoom out a bit and talk about a fundamental truth of reality itself. It's not just a bunch of solid stuff. Nope. At its absolute core, everything is energy. Let's look at the science behind this. And this changes everything. We've all seen Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared. What it's really telling us is that solid matter, your desk, your body, the actual money in your wallet, it's all just energy that's vibrating very, very slowly. It's condensed energy. The source calls it frozen light. So you're not just this solid thing. You're a walking, talking, dynamic pattern of energy.
And once you really get that, this next idea just clicks into place. If you're a pattern of energy, then your financial reality is just a reflection of it. Money literally acts like a mirror. It doesn't care how many hours you work. It reflects the energetic field you are holding, right now. You stand in front of that mirror feeling broke and stressed, that's what it's going to show you. But if you can stand there in calm power, well, you get the picture.
Okay, so this whole idea of broadcasting an energetic signal, it sounds cool, but how does it actually work? What are the physical mechanisms inside your own body that are sending the signal out into the world? Well, let's look at the body's two main engines, the heart and the brain.
Okay, get ready for this because this number is just wild. Research from the HeartMath Institute found that while your brain has an electromagnetic field, your heart's field is 5,000 times stronger. That is not a typo. It's the most powerful transmitter in your body, and it can be measured up to 10 feet away from you. So your heart isn't just pumping blood, you guys. It's a full-on broadcast tower.
And here's the real kicker. This is the part you absolutely have to get. Your heart leads and your brain follows. The emotional state that you hold in your heart, that's what broadcasts the powerful signal out into the universe. And then your brain, this incredible supercomputer, gets to work and it starts filtering all the information around you to find evidence that matches the signal your heart is already sending.
So how does the brain actually do this filtering? Well, it's all thanks to this little network called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Think of it as your personal gatekeeper to reality. First, your belief or your emotional state sets the rules. Then your RAS filters everything and only shows you what confirms that belief. You know how you buy a new car and suddenly you see that same car everywhere? The cars were always there, but now your RAS is programmed to spot them. And boom, you're in a confirmation loop where your reality just keeps reinforcing your internal state.
Okay, so knowing all this is awesome, right? But it's just theory if you can't use it. So how do you actually take the wheel and start tuning your own frequency? The good news is, there are simple, science-backed protocols you can use to shift your energetic broadcast, like right now.
First up, we have something called the 90-second reset. Here's a cool fact. Scientists have found that the actual chemical rush of any emotion, anger, fear, whatever, only lasts about 90 seconds in your body. The reason we feel it for hours or days is because we keep feeding it with stories. To break that cycle, you just do this. Notice where you feel it physically, then observe the pure sensation without judgment, without a story, and finally just breathe into it for 90 seconds. The energy wave completes its cycle and just dissolves.
All right, protocol number 2 is called heart coherence. This one is all about actively using that massive electromagnetic field of your heart. It's so simple. First, you focus your attention on your heart. You can even put your hand there. Then, you generate a powerful, elevated feeling, something like deep gratitude or joy. And finally, you imagine radiating that feeling out from your heart into the space around you. This practice literally changes your heart's signal from chaotic to coherent, which then starts to attract matching experiences.
So what happens when you start doing this stuff? When you really start mastering your internal frequency? Well, your whole role in life starts to change. You stop being a laborer, constantly toiling away for every single dollar, and you start becoming the architect of your own financial reality.
And the source material has this absolutely brilliant metaphor for the shift. Most of us are taught to fill buckets. You trade your time and your effort for money, one bucket at a time. It's brutal. It's exhausting. The alternative is to build rivers, to create systems, assets, and value loops that allow wealth to flow to you, powered by gravity, not just by your daily sweat.
Okay, so let's boil this all down. What are the big takeaways here? First, and this is the big one, your energy, your internal state of being is the primary driver of your wealth, not just your effort. Second, you are a biological transmitter and receiver constantly in a conversation with the energy field around you. And third, and this is so empowering, small, consistent shifts in your frequency can create huge, non-linear shifts in your external reality.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really powerful question. You are not just a passive observer of your life. You are the one at the controls, broadcasting the signal that shapes it. You are collapsing potential into reality with your attention and your energy. So, if your energy truly creates your reality, what will you choose to command today?